Alright, so this is going to be Aeneid, Book 1's, lines 29 through 38. So for a little context here, we just heard all the reasons that Juno is angry with the Trojans and why she hates them, and now we're going to get into hearing a little more from Juno. We're going to get the first dialogue of the whole Aeneid, and then we're also going to have a little bit of get into the actual story of Aeneas and his men. His acensa super iactatos aequore toto Troias, reliquas Danam atque emitis Achilli. Arcebat longe latio, multusque per annos, arabant acti fatis, Maria omnia circum. Alright, so his acensa super. This is acensa is inflamed or enraged by these things also, and this is referring back to the reasons that Juno is angry. She was warding off, far from Latio, the Trojans, who were tossed on the whole sea, and the remaining Danaum. That Danaum is one of the many names you can use for Greeks. So the remaining Greeks and Emitis cruel Achilles, who were wandering for many years, Actifatis, driven by the fates, Circum Maria Omnia, around the whole ocean. And this this Circum right here is an example of an astrophe, some irregular word order right there. Alright, so tantae molis erat Romanum condere gentem. So great an effort was it, and condere here is an infinitive, so to found the Roman race. Alright, and now we are going to be launched in medias res. So because this is epic poetry, it starts in the middle of the action. So we're not starting with the Trojan War, we're starting kind of with Aeneas and his men after they have wandered for some time. Alright, so weeks a conspectu siculae telluris in altum vela dabant, laeti et spumas salis aere rubant. So this weeks right here is almost or nearly out of sight of Sicilian land, and that's Sicily. They were sailing in autumn into the deep, and then this laeti is happily. So they were sailing happily into the deep, or they were happily sailing into the deep. And this in autumn is an example of some metonymy. Basically, in the deep, into the deep means the ocean. And then we have this et spumas salis aere ruebant. So, and ruebant, charging forward or charging through the spumas salis, so the sprays of salt, or the salty sprays, aere, and this is with bronze. And so basically what this aere means when it says plowing through with bronze, that's another example of metonymy. It's almost kind of some synecdoche doing like the part for the whole, but this aere refers to the bronze plates that were on the front of their ships. So by bronze charging through the waves, it's referring to that front of the ship, so it basically just means the ships. And just to give you an idea of where we are geographically, so Troy's over here. Aeneas and his men have done all sorts of wandering, but right now they're leaving Sicily, so almost out of sight of Sicilian shores. They're kind of sailing up towards Italy, and Juno obviously doesn't want them to get to Italy, so that she's not going to make the last leg of this journey very easy. Alright, so cum uno aeternum servans sub pectore vulnus haec secum. This is when Juno servans, keeping or nursing a vulnus aeternum, an eternal wound, sub pectore, under her breast or under her chest. And then right here, this haec secum, there's no verb here to go with this dialogue that's coming up. So there's an implied dixit here, and this is something Virgil does a fair amount. But so basically, with the understood dixit, this can be translated as something like, these things she said herself. Alright, so this is the first dialogue we get in the Aeneid right here. And so Juno says, Main inceptotus sisteri victam nec positalia teu crorum avertere regem. Alright, so this N, this ne on the end of May, introduces a question. So should I, weak Tom, conquered or defeated? So should I defeated desist from this undertaking? Nor am I able to turn away the regem Teocrorum, the king. This Teocrorum is the Trojans, so turn away the king of the Trojans, Italia, from Italy. Alright, so that is the translation. A little interesting, this is a pretty cool thing Virgil does here. So this Mene and Kepto, when this is Latin poetry, it's meant to be read aloud, and so there's going to be a elision right here. This Mene and Kepto, it's going to be pronounced Main in Kepto. And that's little trick of old Virgil's here, that main in Kepto. So mainin is a Greek word for wrath, and that is also the first word of the Iliad. So this is a super cool little reference to the Iliad here that, a learned reader would get and understand back in the day, that mainin is referencing the first word of the Iliad, which is pretty cool. And so that is the translation of Aeneid Lines 29 through 38, Book 1. Thank you for listening.